Yeah, hello. Welcome to Africa Street Journal. My name is Moses Katamani. Today, I want us to have one very important discussion. And this discussion concerns the responsibilities of citizens in an election. First of all, I will not want my discussions to be like academic, but I want it to be practical to help people identify their stake in the running of a country and also in this context in an election. Citizens have the right to have a say in the governance of their country. And everywhere that you are, every country that you are a citizen of, you have a stake in that country. The country is not for a group of people. So far as you are a citizen, either by birth, by registration, by naturalization, or any other means, as far as you become a citizen of that country, you owe that country a responsibility. I could remember one president of the US says, don't ask what your country will do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. That in that context, it is about the responsibilities of the individual towards the country. Thus, in a democratic system, before leaders are made, either through election or appointment, the citizens have a say. But this discussion, I want to focus on election. What are the responsibilities of citizens of the country? This is the fact. The people who put out themselves for election, they are also citizens of the country. And they know they have stakes in the running of the affairs of the country. However, all citizens who qualify to vote should be able to express their opinion or express themselves through the ballot box to say whether these people who put themselves out to be elected to run the affairs of the country qualify to or not. That's so in an election year, those who put out themselves for election, it is their right to put out themselves. It is also the right of citizens to say whether that person qualify to rule the country. And in this context, I want to emphasize that a country which is democratic does not belong to any individual. And I want to address that later. Now, so the first responsibility of a citizen in an election is to register to vote. In other words, to be a registered voter. Now, as a registered voter, there are certain things you are supposed to do. As in Nigerian situation, you must get your PVC. You must get your PVC. It is your responsibility as a citizen to get your PVC if you are 18 years and above and be ready to vote. That is a responsibility. The second responsibility of a citizen of a country is to contribute to the debate of the issues concerning the election. Now, you are not putting yourself out to be elected. However, you can also contribute to the discussions of the issues. In my introduction to this discussion concerning Nigeria election, I made a statement. And in my statement, I said that all citizens have a stake in the election, and that they have, it is not only voting that is their responsibility, but it is your responsibility to contribute to the debate, the discussion of the issues. What are the issues in this election of Nigeria? We can categorize the issues into different categories. However, the major issues concerning Nigeria now, first is the economy of Nigeria. The economy of Nigeria is not doing well, and that solving that economic problem is very important issue to discuss in the election. Another one is security. The security of Nigeria is not in a good shape. Kidnapping, banditry, and what have you. The peace of the country is in a jeopardy. That is an issue. Another issue is education. The educational system of Nigeria. For some time now, since February, out of date, ASU, that is lecturers and their appellates are on strike since February. This is a serious issue, a campaign issue to discuss moving forward into the election proper, and in the issue influence how people are going to vote. It's not only the voting now. Then now, when these issues are raised as a citizen of the country, you have the right to contribute to the discussion. Another responsibility in an election by citizens is supporting their candidates to campaign, supporting their candidates either through cash or in kind. I discussed that one earlier when I was talking about logistics. Now, in the campaign season, the political parties will be running through the whole country. There will be rallies. Citizens have the right, and it is their contribution also to go and listen to the campaign messages. What are the messages that the parties are turning around? What are the messages of the presidential candidates, the gubernatorial candidate, that is governorship candidates, senate candidates, and what have you? Citizens can go to the election ground and listen to their campaign. Another very important thing is, especially in Africa's election, people must know that it is their responsibility to make sure that peace prevails in the election year. In other words, in the election season. It is your responsibility. There is no need to attack somebody because of his view concerning the election. It is rather your responsibility to discuss the issues. So far, even though the parties are now gathering momentum, the election is gathering momentum, and the heat is now coming. There are so many things that are happening that if somebody raise an issue, if somebody raise a support for somebody who you don't support, the only thing is to debate the issue, why you think that it is a wrong decision to support somebody. Because even if you think it's a wrong decision, the person has the right. It is the right of the person to what? To support any candidate of his or her choice. Another very important thing now is, especially on the election day, like some people said and they are discussing online, the challenge is some people will get their PVCs all right. However, on the election day, the question is, will those people go to the polling stations and cast their ballot? It is your responsibility to cast your ballot, and because you have a stake in the election. If you allow some other people to vote for their choice, and you think that it's not necessary to go to the polling station and cast your vote, be in the line for the number of hours and cast your vote, you think that it's not necessary. Somebody else will go endure the situation, vote for his candidate, and when the results are announced, and the person you think should have, but you did not contribute, you must know that that becomes an irresponsibility. It is your responsibility to get to the polling station and cast your vote. Another thing I want to talk about is when elections are going on, citizens can also support their candidates by providing logistics, food for polling agents. You have the right to be a polling agent of your candidate. And I know there are regulations concerning polling agents and or the agents of the various candidates at the polling station. Make sure that if you are willing, you are part of the process, you volunteer to be a polling station agent for your candidate. If you don't want anything mischievous to happen, whereby your candidate might have won a polling station, but somebody will want to turn it around, the major thing is that you can be a polling agent and also be vigilant about whatever happens at the polling station. One thing I want to say about this issue about responsibility is that, and relating to election day, is the fact that elections are won and lost at the polling station. That is why sometimes it amuses me when you hear people after losing the election at the polling station, they cry foul. If the system allows for agents, you should be willing to have agents to support your candidate, or you being an agent to support your candidate with logistics. In this, you are supporting and you are contributing to the process of a free and fair election. Another responsibility I want to talk about is it's not only the citizens who are going to cast their vote, who have the responsibility to the state or the country. Those who are employed to be polling station officers and those who are the people who have to collate the votes and also returning officers must also know that they have a responsibility to the state. If you engage in any mischievous activity, fraudulent activity, and at the end the right candidate did not win, it means that you are contributing to the failures of the democracy of your country. So it is not only citizens who have the responsibility towards the election, those who are employed to make sure that the elections are free and fair also have the responsibility towards the country. Another group of people who have that responsibility towards the country and must defend the election's integrity is the security agents. You are clothed to keep the security of the country. You are in the service of the country. You need to know that your service to your country can promote development, peace, and security of the country. Therefore, every security agent or agencies of security in a country must know that they have a stake in a free and fair election. Once again, I'm talking about the responsibilities of citizens towards in an election, responsibilities of citizens in an election. And I identify the responsibilities of citizens, and I'm also trying to talk about the other part, those who are engaged, those who are empowered to manage the election for the country to have a free and fair election and get the right candidates voted for. Many of the time when people talk about responsibilities, we miss these people who are in charge. If the election will be free and fair in Nigeria, then INEC must take the bull by the horn and do the right thing. If the election will be free and fair, then polling agents, returning officers, and everybody who have a stake in the election must know that they have a responsibility towards a free and fair election. Therefore, as a citizen of Nigeria, as a citizen of your country, you should know that you have a stake in the election of your country and that you must know the role to play. Before I conclude, it is amazing how some people will think that in the election year, it is their time to dig gold or is an opportunity to make money on politicians. That is negative. Because if I saw and I assess a situation whereby a journalist was trying to ask somebody about her view about the election and who she thinks will be the right president moving forward, that is 2023 after the election. Before she would answer the question, she was asking to be given money. And I asked myself, does she know her responsibility towards the election? If you go asking people for money to go to vote for them, or if people who are coming to bribe you to vote for them, remember that you are selling your birthright as a citizen of the country. Remember that you are selling the future of your country to that candidate. When they win, they will make sure that every money they invest in the election to bribe you to get into power, they will make sure that they will get it back. Many African countries are suffering this because of this corruption in the election process. I hope you will think about it. As I always say, Africa Street Journal, our main aim is to shape the conversation for Africa's development. And everywhere there is an issue for us to talk about, we will talk about, we want to address it, we want to raise the issues, address it, and see how we can contribute to the development of a country or the continent of Africa. Every citizen of a country of Africa must know that you have a responsibility towards your country. Those in power, you put them there, and as they are in power, you have the stake in the election of your leaders. There are other things that I want to talk about later, and I want to talk about the work of pressure groups in an election. Pressure groups, and I want to relate that to how they discuss the issue, how they look at the issues in the election process to shape the conversations for a free and fair election. I hope you continue to follow me and we will continue to discuss the issue. Once again, this is Africa's Truth Journal. We are shaping the conversation for Africa's development. Thank you so much.